Oh, you didn't know? Welcome back to another episode of the LTS Wrestling Podcast. It's me. It's that NICC, and I got JoJo and Jasper here today. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Long time no see, fellas.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. I'm so happy to see everybody. It's been a hot minute, especially for everybody out there. Thank you again for continuing to support us on this long hiatus. This is probably our biggest break that we've had since doing this podcast. But nonetheless, we appreciate you guys continue to support us on all of our social media platforms. So continue to hit the like, subscribe, follows. Good Lord, we got a good amount of stuff to talk about, right? Because with all the time that has gone by in between our last episode and now, gosh, there's it seems to be a lot of good things happening in the world of wrestling. But at the same time, we're going to talk about it. Just to kind of bring everybody up to speed, though, we got pretty much like the John Cena tour coming to the last of it. Specifically, three more appearances, if I'm not mistaken. Drew McIntyre, obviously on TV, has been suspended, but there's been rumors the reason for that is because he's actually going out to do a movie. There's been talks about ratings, right, between both companies, specifically AEW and WWE, kind of like the regression of, or now being the ruthless depression of wrestling, specifically because ratings have been down kind of across the board. But we can talk a little bit about that in a bit. Otherwise, guys, we just came off of an episode, Monday Night Raw episode. I thought it was a pretty good one. We can definitely talk about that. John Cena making an appearance here, hometown in Boston, opening up the show. Great promo with Dominik Mysterio intervening here. But yeah, let's I think we got a lot to talk about here. So, I'll kind of hand it over to you guys. What'd you guys think about it?
Yeah, it was a great opener. I had said last episode that I've been saying this for a while. I didn't think that John Cena needed to be Grand Slam champion. I'm not mad at it though. I'm not mad at it. The match was fun. Don't get me wrong. The match was definitely fun. You can tell Cena's having fun in the last days of his farewell tour. I'm enjoying it. He's enjoying it. And that's what it's all about, right? He's supposed to be enjoying his farewell tour, and you can just tell he's just having fun with it. Like, he's not even taking it serious, dude. You know what I mean? It's all fan service from here, and he didn't need to be Grand Slam champion, but it's just, to me personally, I don't think it does anything more for his legacy. Yeah, it's another notch on his belt. He can say he's Grand Slam champion now, but honestly, out of all the things he's already done, it doesn't really elevate him anymore for what he's already done. He's already a great champion. He's already the GOAT. He's already left a huge legacy in the WWE. Great. It's another notch under his belt. But for all he's already done, John Cena, you're awesome. You know what I mean? And it was a fun match. And hey, it's not even taken away from Dominik Mysterio, bro. Dominik Mysterio, bro, you're a GOAT in your own right, bro. You know what I mean? Dominik Mysterio. Hey.
We're talking GOAT Dominik, right?
Hey, Dirty Dominik. He's a GOAT in his own right, bro. You know what I mean? He's coming around. He's coming around. He's making a mark for himself. You know what I mean? And I was a Dominik denier in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? I was one of those guys. That was saying, hey, he's a nepo baby, and because he was carried. You know what I mean? He's just coming in because of his daddy's name, and it was kind of rough to watch him in the beginning, not gonna lie, but hey, he's coming into his own, and the match was fun. The match was fun for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It was a banger opener, and I think that's why I'm gonna miss John Cena in that sense, because the way he got that mic work, man, like here, there, near, far, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. This guy, bro, bro. And I thought Dominik did well to combat him even on the mic. I was like, bro, you better, or I'm gonna park you, sir. And Mr. Invincible did show up. Dominik, man, I thought you were. If there was any time for you to go off script and show why you are great, you should have done the goat dirty. But it did take you should have done the goat way more dirty than what it was, man. Like this was your time to go off the script and shine, but it took that goat. See, all right. So Iron Man, I agree with you 100% about this. Belt does not elevate him, but it's hey man, for sure, he got it. But what does elevate him to me is dog. He took down Too Dirty Dominik one notch. Like it took that humbling. Dog, God, the fact that he went to go do that, I wanted Dominik to really win it, man. Like, cause hey man, that guy makes it fun to watch. And John Cena, of course, if anyone was going to take belt away from this man, Dominik, it had to be you. And of course, they showed you in pops because what do? We raise them right. You feel me? That's what we do. We got to raise them right. And we make sure that, right? Hey, man, right on. That was a banger. Like, yeah. That was a good one. That was a good pop out. Yeah.
Well, Daddy Ray just straight up trolled him in the back,
yeah.
right? Straight up trolled him on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And in the back with that gesture that he had in the back. It's funny because like I didn't realize this too. It seemed like kind of like a callback when Rey Mysterio had the world title back in the day, and he had this little, interaction with John Cena in the back when he had I forgot who he either wanted or defended it against, but it just seemed kind of like a little callback to their little encounter that they had on Raw. Dom, gosh, like the fact that, he was the only champion to have still held the IC title or for any title in the WWE since WrestleMania, that being like the longest reign from, any of the title holders since WrestleMania of this year. Kudos to him, because clearly he did that belt justice. He won it with a crowd that was truly behind him. I think, and shout out Nick. I think you were the only one that picked them when we were doing our picks back in the day, for that specific match. But yeah, like I think just the aspect of this opening up the show, and clearly I think a lot of people have talked about it, right? Like, he's got to face Dominik and, be a Grand Slam title winner at some point. I see your guys' point. Yeah, clearly he didn't need it, but why not? Why not?
Right.
It's fucking John Cena.
Like I said, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't need it, but I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's almost as if like I think this is the reason why I think they did it, right? I think because John Cena is so hard set on his retirement. Like, I am not coming back.
Yeah.
This is it. I am no longer gonna compete. So with that being said, let's just make sure he rides it out as a Grand Slam champion, just because there's no chance that he's actually coming back, right?
Right.
So
and here's the thing too, right? Is that like in the world of wrestling, there's always that never say never thing, right? But John Cena is really one of those guys.
Yeah.
I actually believe him when he says he's never coming back. I believe it.
Yeah, and I've even seen something about like Saudi actually trying to get him to attend the actual Royal Rumble out there next year, and he just clearly give it a straight up no. So it's one of those things, right? I think like the opportunity for him to be a Grand Slam champion, why not? And yeah, I'm cool with it, and I think the interesting part here now is clearly he's only got 3 more appearances, or whether it's 3 matches or 3 appearances, he's not going to have that title for much longer. So I think whoever's going to either win it off of him, or, they decide to let him like write it out and maybe put it up for a tournament. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think at the end of the day, though, this was kind of a nice gesture to Mr. Cena, and obviously, writing out his career with WWE, being a lifer there. It's pretty evident that just was kind of like another nice gesture on the company's part.
Yeah.
But I think the rest of the show, it really kind of also like, spoke for itself, right? There was a bunch of other surprises. Clearly, there's I guess we can talk a little bit about the John Cena tournament, right? Like that's kind of been happening in the background. That they kicked it off this past Monday. I believe the matches were with Rusev against Damian Priest. Rusev winning that match, and then we also had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus. Sheamus taking the win on that in that match. So I'm not sure exactly what the rest of the bracket is, but it's interesting because I think the next set of matches there's a anticipated surprise opponent, right, for Solo Sikoa.
Solo. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So I guess I kind of talking off piece. What did you guys think about this, tournament that is specifically to, obviously have Cena's last opponent? And we've talked about this, in past episodes, like who should be the last opponent, right? So do you guys like this idea?
I
And
do.
who do you guys think is gonna be the last opponent of Cena based on that?
I do. I love it, man. I love it because then it takes away like anticipating who is who, but they like who they're gonna put in there. Not because it's a bad thing, but you also get that element because we don't really know who this surprise like person like wrestler is that's gonna face Solo. So yeah, man, duke
All
it
right.
out, and the one that wants it the most go after John. Like that's a big deal right there, man. I'm excited for it for sure. So whoever thought of this and put this together, the creatives, or they probably watching us, right, guys? They watching us. Hey, check it. You know they are LTS. You know it. But dog, I'm telling you, it's the best way to keep the fans engaged, man. Like this is dope,
True.
man. I'm excited. I hate it though, because after this, like, right, he's out, right? Like you guys are saying, he stands on his 10 toes about it. So it's gonna be bittersweet. So I feel like they're gonna make it someone that's gonna be really like it's gonna pop, bro. Like it could be your Chris Jericho. It could be your Edge. It could be somebody else.
Okay.
Because Dominik, man, I think he been dropping hints. Like, I don't know if it's something, but Dominik on his little Twitter thing, his X thing, he keeps dropping hints that it's Edge, man. And can you imagine, bro? Like that's gonna go crazy, man. So hey,
I don't think I've ever seen that. Where have you seen that?
hey,
It
might not be Dominik though. It might not be. It might be somebody's what you call like burner account. But I'm thinking it is dirty. It is dirty on there, man. Like
Oh
he
man.
keeps saying it's Edge though. Watch, I'll send it to you guys on the side. Hey, but he keeps saying that it's Edge, man, and yeah, he keeps dropping those hints. He's been dropping it like a key if it is his account now. Like, but yeah, man, it could be somebody that's gonna surprise us, but it's gonna pop. It has to, because like you guys already mentioned, it's like kudos to the company for kind of like lining it up to give him his proper send off, his proper flowers. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of a stretch now to think that it's going to be an Edge. I know Jericho's a little bit more of a possibility because, there's already been rumors that he's, signed with the company. But yeah, the Edge thing, I would probably, cross that off the list just because the element of surprise would technically be earlier than expected. Yeah, right. Like we were eventually going to have to find out who the surprise opponent is before the actual final date. And I think if it was Edge, I don't think this whole tournament would have actually panned out. That's my opinion. I would think Edge would just happen to show up as a surprise opponent on the last day or the last match in that aspect. So I wouldn't even like consider Edge or anybody. I know they said, or John Cena's little vignette did state it could be somebody from outside of the company, but I think he's just trolling us because obviously those were the rumors, right? Like it could possibly be Edge. I just think now, though, the possibility though of these surprise opponents could be like a Chris Jericho or maybe an NXT call up, right? I think I know that Javon Evans is in the tournament. he's apparently facing Gunther, which is interesting enough. I think a lot of people are also talking about Gunther being the last opponent. So we already know that that's a possibility. But Nick, what are you thinking? Maybe who do you think is possibly the surprise opponent as well?
Okay, so I've been trying to pay attention to the little like hints they've been throwing us here and there, and something like kind of caught my attention. And this may be a little far out there. Just kind of hear me out on this one. It may seem a little far fetched.
We got the time.
We do have the time.
Thanks.
This may seem a little far fetched.
What you talking there? What you talking?
Just hear me out.
What you cooking?
Okay.
What's cooking?
So first off,
what's on the stove?
I've had crazier ideas, right? I've had crazier ideas.
How crazy is this? So let's hear it.
It sounds not super crazy. I mean, we've seen crazier stuff. Okay, so John Cena did mention could be from outside the company, right? Nick Aldis did say, maybe I'll save that name for later. He didn't say the name. But what if he said the name and that person does appear?
Thinking Joe Hendry?
What if it's Joe Hendry, bro? What if it's Joe Hendry?
Well, on the topic of Joe Hendry, he did just sign with the WWE. So,
did he?
Yeah, there's confirmed reports. I believe Fightful released that they announced that he officially has signed with WWE.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So his contract is up with TNA.
Yep. Apparently. Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's not too far fetched.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'm not too far off the mark.
Nope.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Makes sense. I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay. So maybe I'm not too far off the mark.
Yeah.
But does he get past Solo?
With how ridiculous Joe Hendry is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really? You think
yes.
so?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Solo don't need the win.
How
I don't think
ridiculous.
Solo need the win. Like Solo don't need that.
Honestly,
like,
I don't think Solo doesn't need the win. With how like honestly, I kind of like the way MFT is right now.
Right.
I like their whole dynamic, dude. I kind of like their whole shtick right now. I don't think Solo needs the win. I think just let them do their thing. I kind of like their whole thing, what they got going on right now. Solo doesn't need it. I'll be honest.
I agree. With the way they are, I don't think Joe Hendry would get past them.
You don't think so?
No. It's like numbers and strength.
True. You're right. You're right.
I don't think he's gonna get past that. It'll be a nice pop, nice surprise, but I think Solo makes quick work out of him. I honestly do. Yeah, like it's Solo,
and then maybe come down to Solo versus Gunther.
I think that's what's interesting too. Like along the way towards the final opponent, I feel like we're getting some pretty cool matchups.
Yes.
So yeah, great possibility there. I think.
I like that.
We could see a potential Gunther Solo Sikoa matchup
because we've never seen that before.
I think they've tied it up.
You heard it here though.
In NXT, but obviously they're clearly two different wrestlers at this point of their career.
Right.
That would be a pretty cool, like nice change of scenery for all of us as fans to see. But yeah, I think that's what's also great about this tournament. At the end of the day, you don't know who's going to run into each other. Clearly, there's a few adversaries from Cena's career that are partaking in this, and they have history with them. But nonetheless, it's I'm looking forward to what the outcome is going to be. I personally think, though, in terms of the surprise, I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho actually ends up being it. It's just been rumors of him, signing back with the WWE, and just to kind of throw him into the mix. Why not? I don't think there's any wrongdoing here or any reason to feel like he's taking somebody's spot. No, I think I think it's Jericho's name is big enough to, fill something in this case, like a surprise element. So
I think that's an appropriate spot for Jericho.
yeah, why not? Otherwise they bring him back at the Rumble, right? That's what I'm thinking. The funny thing is, here's a crazy theory, right? So the opening of Raw, this is I didn't get a chance to share this with you guys, but I was watching it, and the way kind of like Triple H was opening up the show, he was like talking. It almost felt like the words he was saying seemed so ambiguous that how funny would it have been if it had been like one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, blah 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 blah. You're expecting him to say obviously John Cena. Next thing you know, he drops the Y2J. And then all of a sudden you hear the Y2J countdown. How crazy would that, and like insane that would have that been, right? To see that happen instead of John Cena popping out.
The pop
just to
would
get
be
like
crazy.
such a swerve, and I was just kind of thinking like, who would really think that they would actually do something like that? I thought could have been a possibility, just the way he was being so ambiguous with his introduction. And obviously it felt like he was alluding to John Cena, which he did. But you just never know what to expect sometimes with the way Triple H kind of conducts some of these things, and I think that's why he keeps us on our toes, for some of these moments. But outside of that, I think the rest of the show, right? We got clearly new tag team champions, women's tag team champions, I should say. Which we, saw the Kabuki Warriors defeating Alexa and Charlotte Flair. And that kind of transpired into the women's War Games match, right? So we saw a little bit of involvement with Nia Jax and Lash Legend, her being called up from the NXT to the main roster. And then the return of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. So, we got that set up here. If I'm not mistaken, I think War Games typically, is a 5-on-5 match?
Yeah, usually it's 5-on-5 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so if that's the case, I would expect one or two more people to be added to this match, right? So, because technically we only got 4 on each side. Kabuki Warriors with Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So, who do you guys think? I guess, what do you guys think about this match and the way it's kind of starting to build here? Do we got the right people in this match?
Yeah, I do. Especially when you got Lash Legend trying to make the push, and of course Nia Jax is the best to help them push over. But Rhea Ripley, she's gonna need help. She gonna need some muscle. So is Bianca cleared somewhere? Is she gonna help? Is Jada?
I did not think about that.
But I'm just saying, she got don't get me wrong. Io, I don't care your height, none of that. You guys perform, but what I'm saying is she's gonna need some muscle, dog. You got what did we were talking about on the side? It's like King Kong paired up with Godzilla. That's the kind of power potential that is on the other side. If you wanted to pair up
with Lash Legend and Nia.
Yeah, Lash Legend and Nia, that's a lot of power on the other side over there. So, she got a lot of agility behind her, Miss. Rhea Ripley. You got a lot of agility. You got a lot of talent, dude. But it's power, and then you got Asuka's on the other side too, right? The new champs, right? That's crazy, dude. The mastermind on that. They're a menace already, dude. And hey, dude, Charlotte, you've been great. I didn't know how you were gonna bounce back on your a Chicago thing where they booed you and all that, but you did it right here with the Charlotte Bliss. I like this duo, so it's intriguing to see, hey, we still tied in despite them having lost their titles. We're still tied in. After all this, are you guys gonna go get your titles back type stuff? But I need her to have one more powerhouse. We need another powerhouse over there on the other side, so we need a powerhouse, whoever that's gonna be.
Yeah, I want to say, first off, Charlotte, that was a fantastic run. I really enjoyed that range you showed being with Alexa Bliss, not just being a one-trick pony and being the eternal women's Money in the Bank winner, and just getting title shot after title shot. Thank you for showing some range. That was great. Never, I never, you know what? I've never doubted your in-ring skills. Your in-ring skills have always been great, but I was getting tired of your eternal Money in the Bank winning skills. that was getting tiresome. I was tired of that. This last run with Alexa Bliss was great. I enjoyed that. Keep doing that. I look forward to you being a world champ again eventually, but float around in the mid card for a little bit, just for a little while longer. That was great. The tag team title match was fun. I liked it. It was a really good match. Good job, Asuka, keeping Charlotte safe. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Charlotte's arm was dangling down.
I did not catch that.
Yeah.
I did not catch that.
Asuka kept Charlotte safe. Very good.
Okay.
That was awesome. And yeah, I mean, all around, I think it's gonna be a good match.
Who do you think is gonna be added there?
I wouldn't be surprised if Nikki Bella and Stephanie Rick. Yeah. The two singles girls right there.
No, that's right there. Oh,
okay.
Right here. LTS.
I don't see why they wouldn't be put in there.
Here.
I mean, not that why they wouldn't, but why they couldn't be put in there. Right. And I mean,
dog, that's it right there.
Rodriguez and stuff. They don't have to have any part of it. You know what I mean? Like they can deal with Judgment Day stuff because Judgment Day seems to be falling apart right now. Apparently, you know what I mean? So the whole Judgment Day storyline can be playing out. They can totally leave Vicker and Bella alone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So those two guys can jump into the War Games thing if WWE sees fit to put them in. So that would make it a 5-on-5. So I mean, I don't see why not. But Nia Jax. One more thing before you go through Nia Jax. Yeah. She was spilling out, dude. You need to chill, Nia. You need to chill. You were spilling out, girl.
It's funny how she trolled Charlotte, and then she had her little own, right?
Yeah. You were trolling Charlie, but you were spilling out, girl. Chill out.
Too soon.
Can't be trolling and doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You guys have some pretty good picks. I like the possibility of them probably adding a Jade and a returning Bianca. I actually like the possibility of a Nikki and Steph because clearly let's just start off with the Nikki and Steph because that's what's been on TV, right? The heel turn here. That just happened on Raw. I think there's been talks of that happening for quite some time. Didn't know they were actually going to pull the trigger on that this past Raw, but it was I can't be mad at it. So yeah, I think it would be a nice insertion to the women's War Games match. The other part of it too is interesting because you do have Jade Cargill in the background, and I think having Bianca return, that would be an interesting setup, right? For them.
The only thing with Bianca though is I remember hearing, and this was not too long ago, within the last month, they did an interview with Bianca, and she says her fingers still can't bend. So it's still like locked. Yeah, it's still locked straight. So she can't bend her finger at all.
I don't know, man. Maybe they're just saying that just to throw us off.
I don't know.
Because the cast is off, right? The cast is off.
Yeah.
I've seen her with like nothing on her hand.
Right. Yeah. So that's what she's saying. She's saying her finger is still locked in a straight position. So she can't bend her finger at all.
Ooh,
so I don't know.
Bianca.
So that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying. So she says she's still gonna be out for a while.
She's gonna eventually show up on Raw. She's gonna be like, guess what?
Yeah. Pull a Kevin Nash, right? Pull a Kevin Nash.
Yeah, just with that little finger. So I'm gonna go off a little bit in a different direction here. I think I think those are great possibilities. I wouldn't even be mad if they decided to insert Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Because,
Ooh,
you got them kind of hanging around the background and nothing really happening with them, but two big names that could probably elevate this whole match. That'll be nice, just because I think we haven't seen AJ Lee since, WrestlePalooza, and clearly Becky's still got the IC title. She's, obviously a big name that could definitely be plugged into this match. And that could eventually lead into some sort of, actual on-screen feud, clearly, stemming from their WrestlePalooza match with their respective husbands. And, we could kind of like see that elude into, next year. So, that's just kind of like another version of this match that I see. But we got different possibilities, and granted, 2 weeks from now is the actual PLE. So, we'll keep our eyes open to see what actually transpires over the next few weeks. And we do actually have the other match being the men's War Games match. A shout out to Mr. Regal and making a little cameo on Raw.
that was a
Actually
great
announcing
cameo.
it. Yeah, I was like that. There's no other way to announce it than having Mr. Regal actually, say it. So, good call on that. But I think for the meantime, we only have 3 people on each respective team. So that being Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Jey Uso, with possibility of 2 other people joining them, and then we still got Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and very similar possibility of 2 other people. So, what's your guys' thoughts on this? And throw out your additions to these teams.
I feel like it's gonna be. I feel like it's just gonna be a standard match. I'm sure they're gonna have nice spots here and there, but I feel like it's not gonna be something that we're not gonna expect. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're gonna walk away from this match and be like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, that was cool. Unless they have some really cool spots. For CM Punk's team, I feel like LA Knight's kind of a shoe-in.
Okay.
I feel like there's going to be some resistance to getting him in. How many weeks away are we from War Games?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
I feel like there may be a little resistance. I feel like LA Knight's going to be like a last minute in on the team. Maybe even wait until War Games to actually show up on the team. Maybe. But I think LA Knight is probably a shoe-in for the team. As far as a 5th guy, tough call. I'll be honest. I have no idea.
Who do you want to see? Just say it. I know. I think I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you want.
I don't know. Who do you think I want?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. That is a good one. That actually is a good one. That I wasn't even thinking SmackDown side. That's a good one. That is a good one. I wasn't even thinking. I was only thinking Raw side.
I'll speak on my piece as to why I think they would add him into the match.
That's a good one.
How about on the Braun Logan side?
Braun Logan side. Who do they get along with though? That's the problem, right?
Right.
Because they don't get along with people.
I think you just got to look at the advocate there, right? Paul Heyman is kind of like the catalyst here. Who do you think would align with him?
I
think there's a real obvious one.
Right, Brock. Right?
Yeah, I think Brock's going to get added to this match.
Right. Who else will be the other one, though? To be the 5th. Brock. You got Brock. What if it's LA Knight? What? Because he's tired. He's just going to play ball. He's just like tired of just being looked over.
I don't know.
That would shake.
That's a tough one, bro.
That would shake the WWE up. Like,
I mean, unless they really are going to stick to like the 4v4 format, like they're not gonna push a 5v5, and like they're gonna stick to the 4v4, like that. Like how the women, they're just whatever the team is right now. that's just how they're gonna keep the teams like that, and they're just gonna build the story like that up until SummerSlam War Games. If that's how they're gonna keep it, that's how they're gonna keep it.
Mhm.
And then maybe the men they're gonna just add one more guy. Then I mean, it's not gonna do it, but like 2 weeks to add two more guys. That's a lot of explaining to do in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
I think it's easier on the babyface side.
Yeah, it is easier for the
It's
babyface
easier on the
side.
babyface side. What do you think, Cuzzo? Before I throw mines out there, what do you think? So, are you kind of like leaning towards like what Nick said?
Hey, it could be that too, because if they're not adding a 5, watch it be Jake Paul. Jake Paul, because his boxing match got canceled. watch their 5th guy be him. No, but
it's not gonna be Jake Paul.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I don't know who they're gonna add, but something's telling me, I don't know why, man. Like that dude, main event Jay Uso, man. He's gonna throw the match. He's gonna throw the match. I don't know why. I don't know why. He's gonna throw this match.
He's gonna cost his team the match.
Yeah, like, or he's not gonna, because I don't know why, man. Standing next to those two champions when Regal came out, like I didn't see it from him. I don't know. I didn't see that he was. He's gonna be a part of it. Ah, man, that might be the stinger right there. But I can't.
But you felt the aura from the two champs, but when you looked at Jay, you didn't feel the 4 letters, one word.
Yeah, like he was looking at them like, damn, I should be the one
I'm the third wheel.
Yes, exactly like that. Yeah, dog. Like
which one of these doesn't belong here?
Yeah,
which one of these doesn't belong here?
Yeah, exactly, bro. So I'm feeling like if it doesn't go good on the babyface side, is because he's giving that off anyway. That's what I could call it, man. Yeah,
walks out on his team.
Yeah, man, or something's gonna come.
Okay,
that would be an interesting twist to the.
If there's any twist to it, if there's any twist to it, it got to be that.
Well, you just said something about Roman.
What was that Roman's going to be happy with him. Roman's going to be happy with Jay. And when he does this, if he does this, Roman's really going to be happy with this guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And his big brother and Big Jim not gonna be happy.
Big Jim,
Big Jim is really gonna like be and then that might be it right there. The two brothers are gonna go at it. Oh shit!
No, you know what? And that's you bring up a good point, because why waste all those weeks of building up Big Jim looking disappointed in the background, right? Why waste all of that content that they put out there? Use it. That's a good point, bro. That's a good point.
Don't drop this one. Yeah.
Like, do I see Big Jim part of the match? I don't, but I could see him being instrumental in the outcome. And clearly that might just tie into the whole Jey Uso piece of it. So I think you got something there with that. Jay possibly, like walking out, that could, be an outcome as well. I think for the babyface side, I wouldn't be surprised if LA Knight gets thrown into that. I wouldn't be surprised if Randy Orton gets thrown into that. I think the highly speculated tribal chief should be part of it. That could possibly be revealed the week before, or actually the week of Survivor Series. But as far as the heel side, I only see Brock being one of the additions to. I am kind of like, just kind of like not sure as far as who could be a fifth member, because Nick, you brought up a good point. Like, who's really aligning themselves with this group? Nobody really does like them unless they have some sort of affiliation with Paul Heyman, for that matter. Who knows? Like, he could be recruiting in the background, right? Like that's just what Paul Heyman does as well. Like, he could have something up his sleeve, which I'm sure like is a possibility as well. So yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see. I think, and the kind of going back to what I was alluding to with the Randy Orton piece. For some reason, I feel like this could possibly start the feud with Cody, and I think he may turn heel.
I'm
So,
ready. I'm
so it's
ready.
just like, yeah, I think it's just one of those like moments where I feel like this is an opportunity for them to pull it off. You know, somebody's going to turn on somebody on this team, or on somebody's team, specifically on the babyface side. So I think Randy Orton could be part of this. Pulls a heel turn. Might even be Jey Uso for that matter, right? Who knows? I think with the way that they've kind of like integrated some of these guys into this matchup, there's always that thing, right? Like whenever you look at a match like War Games or even like the Royal Rumble for that matter, these are like opportunities for like WWE to start new storylines or kind of allude into a storyline that's been in the background that they're gonna like obviously let it pop off. And I kind of pay attention to a little bit of that, specifically with the participants. So it's not necessarily just I would say from the opposing teams, right? You kind of have to look at who's also within that team to see like, you know, there could possibly be some sort of like, you know, friction amongst those team members, because it's pretty obvious, right? Like lately, or you kind of really think about like Jey Uso, CM Punk, LA Knight, they've been in this whole like main event scene for quite some time, and they've had their obviously they've had their run-ins with one another. So to say that they're also going to all be working together cohesively, there's no guarantee there, from a storyline standpoint, obviously. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I think it's going to be interesting to see who ends up being those last members for each respective team. So something to look forward to, right? Yeah. So I think, and you know, the other speculated piece of the PLE is John Cena. I know at first they did speak on John Cena possibly being part of this War Games match, but now that's kind of been talked as if he's actually going to be defending the IC title, which it to me it kind of makes more sense that way, because here I'm starting to think whoever this opponent might be, maybe I don't know, maybe he rematches Dom, I don't know, or maybe some other opponent. But it's going to be interesting because I almost feel like he may just drop the title at Survivor Series if that's the plan, right? To have him wrestle, putting up his IC title. But if that happens, who do you guys think John Cena is going to possibly face? I know it hasn't been announced or teased yet, but what do you guys think?
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a run back with Dom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
it is San Diego.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, they put on such a good they put on such a good match. I mean, dude, it was. I don't doubt they'd put on another banger. They would have to change up the whole whatever they did. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, put in a whole section where they try to do the dirty tricks and all that other stuff for sure. But I mean, try to figure out something new. Of course, make the match fun. They're gonna make it fun. But I wouldn't mind seeing them run it back.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind that.
Same. I was gonna say this. I was gonna say the same thing, but you know how like before when John went into the backstage and saw his dad, and he was like, "He's a good kid. He's a good kid, right?" What if Dominik does run it back and wins it back or something, and he gets his little baby face run going? That'd be crazy.
Well, how's about this? But what about this? So what if they run it back? Dom wins the title back, and that gives him the push to say, "Well, look, I want it back without the Judgment Day. I don't need you guys anymore."
Oh yeah,
and that gives it even more that gives the Judgment Day story even more momentum for them to just dissipate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can give Dom his solo run and all this other stuff. So I mean,
I like where you're going with that.
yeah,
I do
I'm just
too.
saying, you know what I mean?
I like where you're
Actually,
going with
that's
that.
more feasible. Yeah, that's more likely. Y'all heard it here again. That's 3 of those. 3 of those. You catch this episode, you're gonna see 3 of these. Like 3 of them. Like, ooh, y'all on fire. Let's go. Let's get it. Yeah, LTS. Y'all heard that.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing, right? If you think about that whole piece of what you just said, Nick, you know, because of the whole Judgment Day thing, like looking like it's gonna fall apart, you know, and we got, you know, Finn Balor, JD in the background, still part of the Judgment Day, kind of like laughing, you know, that Dom took the L. It's interesting because if that does happen, let's just say they do run it back. It is in San Diego.
Mhm.
What kind of pop would it be if Dirty Dom turns babyface in his own hometown, right?
Right.
And you know, it was in the realm of him helping out John Cena, or maybe even Ray comes out, right? Like who knows? Like it's again, you kind of have to take into consideration the environment of where they're gonna be. I would think that it would be pretty favorable for WWE to create that kind of moment for specifically John Cena to put over Dirty Dom, and at the same time, you know, maybe Judgment Day comes on and just like, hey, you know, like what the hell happened, like why you shaking hands with John, like, that's not how we do things, all of a sudden that heel turn, or they turn on him, and then you see Dom full on turn babyface here, big pop with the crowd, kind of like has that moment with John Cena. I think it's a huge win. I would say, like,
That is a
for all
huge win.
parties.
That is a huge win. And you could, and you can still do Dirty Dom as a face. That's still
Right.
super possible. He can
Right.
still play the dirty character as a face. 100%.
Just like Eddie Guerrero did,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly
Yeah.
like how Eddie Guerrero did.
I was gonna
Like
say he gets cheered down.
Eddie right, like when Eddie was teaming with Batista. Eddie was a good guy at the time, you know what I mean? And bro, Eddie was there was so many good segments with Eddie and Batista, you know what I mean? Like they were just poking fun with each other. And bro, there's so much good content to be had with Dom as a face doing the whole dirty Dom shtick. So I mean, hey, that's a win-win, you know what I mean? So hey, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
That would be kind of an interesting, like, interesting segment, I would say, for Survivor Series, if that ends up happening, right? I think it hasn't been officially announced, but I just don't see why they wouldn't have, the likes of Dominik Mysterio or even Rey Mysterio, for that matter, being involved, because it's in San Diego. Clearly two natives of that city, got to be big parts of it. I think Nia Jax too, right? She's out on San Diego, so clearly she's involved in her War Games match too. But yeah, I think
wait, before you continue. Because Jay's not here. WWE, we know you watching.
Yeah.
We know you watching. If you use our idea, make sure you give us credit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JoJo. Continue.
They're never gonna give us credit. You know why? Because that credit would turn into money, and we ain't gonna get none of that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No. Speak it into existence. Forget that. We gonna get it. They will have. They will have to acknowledge us at one point. If at some point they might have to acknowledge us. They might
manifest that. We'll manifest it.
Yeah, keep watching.
But I kind of wanted to allude to something else, right? Like off of all the PLEs, and I think we could kind of just like shoot straight into this. Ticket sales, right? I think that's been kind of a hot topic as of late, and a lot of media outlets covered. I believe Mark Shapiro's, his interview. I forgot which specific interview it was, but he did make some references to, increasing ticket prices, and kind of, he acknowledges that, Vince kind of catered to more of the, like the general fan base, families, and whatnot, and keeping it pretty reasonable in terms of pricing. But then there's the other part of it too, right? With this whole TKO, regime, they've clearly been pretty. I would say they've even been pretty transparent about the ticket prices being increased, and for their, I guess for their rationale, they just want to, it's clear they're trying to make money, right? And I think their target market seems to be a little bit more towards, like those that do have that kind of money to spend, specifically when we talk about these PLEs, that lower section, ringside, whatever it may be, right? I think a lot of hardcore fans or longtime fans have been very vocal about how they've been priced out. And I think for anything that we speak on, like, especially if you've kind of been a fan for the longest time, or even for anything out there, right? I think anything typically goes up in price, but we've seen significant price increases with WWE events. Before I kind of talk on my piece, but do you guys feel like there has been a tremendous increase in price that is clearly impacting attendance and ratings, for that matter? What do you guys think?
Ratings? Well, if it affects attendance because it's expensive, I would assume like ratings would go up because they would have to watch it somehow, right? Right? So the ratings got to go up because they're gonna stream it. They're gonna watch it then from home or wherever they're watching. But man, I've seen these videos lately where yes, things are getting expensive, but there's this rapper, he's a fan, and he was proud to pay for 2 suites wherever he was watching his WWE event at. Like, he was like, he got 2 suites.
Oh,
Have you seen that clip? And he was really happy about it. And I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. And then his dude
oh
was
no,
like, yeah, like
I don't
his
think we're
dude.
talking about the same guy.
Oh, I see. Nah, but his dude was like, man, he's crazy for wanting to do that. But he's like, but I'm a big fan, and we're gonna fill up these 2 suites. And he's all, it's the suite where I'm looking straight into the ring. Like the ring is right there. And they're just like, but you're paying this much for it. That's wild. And he's like, nah, man, we're gonna witness some shit. And I was like, oh shoot. So there are some fans, despite it going up, they still believe in the product, that their experience and the stories that you will tell when they are live there will be memorable, and it's gonna pop forever for them. So it's gonna be priceless, whatever they're paying. But damn, we want to keep sitting as close as possible. So bring it down a little bit, like, we ain't going back to the nosebleeds, dude. There's no way. Like,
even the nosebleeds feel like they're kind of getting priced out too.
Dude, that sucks.
They're climbing.
Yeah.
It's
Only
literally
30 grand?
figuratively going up as high as the nosebleeds.
Yeah, bring it down.
It's insane. It's clearly, inflation's clearly impacted wrestling, or WWE for that matter.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that interview that Mark Shapiro did. He's basically in corporate terms, he basically said that we're gonna milk the fan base for all we can milk them for, and we're gonna milk them dry. He basically stuck the finger to everybody in corporate terms. I wasn't a fan of that. For all the bad things that Vince did, the one thing I was a fan of is that he did look after his fan base, and he made sure that everybody could go, because he was well aware that the way to keep your fan base was to build generational fan base, right? If you can get the parents to bring the kids, you build generational fans, because when you get the kids to become fans,
right,
then once the kids grow up, they become parents, they'll bring their kids, and you create generational wealth. And I'm almost certain I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but I did go to WrestleMania. I went to WrestleMania with my wife. We sat third row, WrestleMania 27. We paid $900 for third row seats. $900.
This is when it's still one night, right?
This is when it was still one night. So
wait, that's good, right?
That sounds good. So that's that's fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's absolutely fantastic.
I'm like, that's good, right?
So yeah, so no, that's absolutely fantastic. Well, okay, so we didn't just pay for the seat. So we bought the package off of WWE. So we bought like a platinum package, which included our hotel. It included tickets for Raw, WrestleMania Access, which is now called WrestleMania World, meet and greet. So I have my spinner WWE belt, which was signed by Randy Orton, which I will keep forever.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a private meet and greet, which was super cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and so we got tickets to Raw, we got tickets to SmackDown. I got to watch Shawn Michaels get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, and it's just we got a whole bunch of stuff, and third row tickets to WrestleMania 27, and altogether, so for 3 people, so me, my wife, and one of my friends went. For the 3 of us, we only spent $11,000 total. Collective, and that was for everything.
Yeah,
and the only other thing we had to pay for was our flight. Nowadays, you'd be lucky to get one seat within that range for $11,000. You know what I mean? Like, it's
not in front row.
Yeah, not even like within the first 10 rows, you'd be lucky to see an $11,000. See, I mean, I understand inflation. I get it. I get that the ticket prices are gonna go up. I understand that they were never gonna stay that 900 is not cheap, not by any stretch of the imagination. I understand that they were never gonna stay that low. I understand that the prices were gonna go up eventually, but the fact that from WrestleMania 27 to what is now going to be WrestleMania 42 coming up in a couple of months, now you're looking at $50,000 tickets. That's kind of crazy to me. I'll be honest. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy. I would be okay with it if you were to tell me WrestleMania 42, the same seat, same row tickets were like $3,000. That honestly, to me, that seems kind of reasonable as far as inflation goes. I would say that's kind of reasonable. So, accounting for time, inflation, all this. I would say that's kind of reasonable to me. But you're telling me $900 to $50,000? To me, that's kind of ridiculous. You're pricing out your long-term fan base, which is me. You're pricing out your potential fan base, which is my sons, plural, right? So like my youngest, my oldest doesn't really show that much interest in wrestling. He'll definitely go if he had the chance. He said he would go if he had the chance. My youngest definitely wants to go. But nosebleeds right now, if you look at nosebleeds are like fucking like $300. Are you crazy? Right. I might as well just stay home and watch it on TV. Right. I just think the rate they're going, and because they said that they know Mark Shapiro said they know they haven't found the market cap yet. They haven't reached the pinnacle of what they can charge people, and they're going to continue to go up in price because they want to hit that ceiling before they even look at bringing the prices down. Just shows that they're no longer looking at us anymore, right? What they're looking for is They're looking to change their audience to look like the UFC events. They want celebrities so that when they pan the crowd, all you're seeing is rich people and celebrities. And if that's what they want, that's what they're going to get. And if that's what they're going to get, they're going to have low ticket sales. They're going to have low ticket sales and scalpers, and then their stadiums are going to look empty. And then in turn, I feel like that's going to affect not only their ticket sales, that's going to also affect their viewership, because part of the allure of watching WWE is that you're also going to be able to eventually get the chance to go to see it live, because it's going to end up coming to your city eventually, right? Because half of the allure of being a WWE fan is when they would pop it up coming to your city. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I want to go see WWE when they come to my city. And then you're waiting to see, okay, where are the tickets? Let me see how much the tickets are. What can I reasonably afford and to sit in what section, right? But when you can't afford any of that, and it's just like, okay, well, I mean, that takes away half of what being a fan is. Then I feel like that'll also affect their ratings as well, in my opinion.
And I guess, like, kind of tying into that piece, right? Do you guys even feel like the product has met the expectations of where they're pricing their tickets?
Yeah, but it's
I feel
like
like
it's out of reach. When you make it like out of reach, you can't. Their product will suffer.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel like the honeymoon's over. I feel like the honeymoon's over and the product is stalling.
Yeah, because I think that's kind of been the narrative, right? You know, we've clearly see like the ebbs and flows, and like you said, the honeymoon period's over. That's why we kind of you made that comment about like the ruthless depression, you know. And you know, to be fair, I would say it's across the board. I don't think it's necessarily just one company, because the numbers kind of speak for itself. But you know, if we're going to solely just talk about WWE here, I think the product has gotten complacent. You know, we've seen a lot of people just kind of been recycled on screen, and some feuds being recycled on screen. You know, I'll say Raw has been it's been a breath of fresh air because of how the outcome of like the show was. Now, the only argument I would actually make for these increased ticket sales is, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, is, you know, where's this money going to? And, you know, I think it's fair to assume like clearly TKO is going to get a good chunk of it. But if a good part of this increase is going towards talent, because we know that the on the other side, you know, you got these billionaires that own AEW. Clearly, you know, money seems to not be a problem there. They're paying good money for their talent. I feel like that's the only way WWE has to compete with, you know, that kind of like situation where they have to be able to pay their talent top dollar, you know, specifically to either recruit or retain. So I think that's the only argument I would make for these increased ticket sales. The other part of it, though, is clearly the strategy of whether or not it's intended to price out their the longtime fans, right? The long-term loyal fans. Is TKO is a company that seems to look at globalization, and what they did with the UFC is it's pretty apparent that's happening with WWE. We've seen so many different PLEs and a lot more live events happening overseas outside of the US or North America for that matter. We're clearly getting the first WrestleMania outside of North America happening in Saudi next year, right? Or not next year, but the following year in 2026. The Royal Rumble is going to be in Saudi next year. So what does that really tell us? You know, like clearly, yeah, Saudi has money. They're going to go there for that reason. but it's a new company, right? Under this TKO regime, and I think no matter how you look at it, it does suck. It does, and I'm gonna agree with you guys in that sentiment of it does suck for the loyal fan base having to be at the expense of these increased ticket sales. Um, the crazy part of it though is some of these people actually still spend the money.
Yeah.
It'd be different if we saw you know the floor seats or even like the front row for that matter like empty, right? But these are like the seats that usually sell out. People buy
Yeah,
them,
it's still,
you
bro. They're
know.
still buying them.
What? Yeah, and whether it's like a last minute buy where maybe like the price came down like on the day of the event, like I'll be honest. Every time I even look at tickets, like let's just use the John Cena's last match as an example, right? In Washington D.C. I know there's been reports where ticket sales have struggled, but I can't say I've seen any of those tickets ringside or floor seats vacant for that matter. Or what's the likelihood of those seats not actually being filled on the day of? Those are usually the seats that fill up first.
Yeah, not likely. They're
So,
gonna be filled.
yeah, and like you're gonna see a little bit more of the impact, like like the other sections, right? The mid sections, like upper sections, clearly are gonna be impacted, and however like the presentation of the show is gonna look like, yeah, they might tarp off certain areas. Yeah, they do that. We get it, but my point being, the higher some of these prices go up, and if people keep buying them, do you think TKO is going to stop? Absolutely not. And that it goes back to that comment you made, right? Shapiro clearly has, he stated that they haven't met that market cap. And it goes to show, like every time you sell out those specific seats or those specific areas of the venue, it really does compensate for a lot of like the empty seats that typically are lower tier priced amongst the arena. So you can always look at it as, oh yeah, like lower attendance, but those lower seats are clearly going to compensate for the loss on that part, because up until we actually see those seats not filled, or clearly the arenas are really apparent to the point where it's not filled, right? We see like a lot of empty seats on the lower section, a good majority of the mid, upper deck area, whatever you want to call it. I think that's kind of like going to be the moment or the turning point of WWE or TKO for this matter, saying, okay, I think we need to consider reducing or stop increasing prices. So, that's just kind of my take on it. People might not agree with it because, hey, you know what? We're just those. I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're just those fans that can't afford it. I'm not gonna pretend like I can afford those seats
100, bro.
either, right?
100.
And it's cool. It's fine.
Yeah,
like you can express the way you feel. At the end of the day, it's cool. But I think the reality is it's still a business, and like we know who's running the show here. They're not gonna back down. They're out to make money. They're out to make money. That's the bottom line, right?
Can't hate on it.
Yeah, that's if we're in that position.
We can hate on it because we can't go,
but ain't gonna do much. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Ain't gonna do much. I'm sorry to say that, but I think that's the reality of it. But it does kind of come down to the fact that with John Cena's final match, ticket sales clearly showing the numbers aren't really there. Even, but this is the irony to it, right? I my understanding is when his I'm sorry, the Saturday night main event went on sale for on Ticketmaster. Wasn't there like 60,000 people in the queue?
There was, but from what I understand, I think there was like 62,000 people in the queue.
Something like that.
If I heard correctly, I think maybe only like I want to say less than 20,000 people actually bought tickets less than a third of them actually bought tickets.
But what is the capacity of that venue?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I'm not sure.
Because by the sounds of it, if it was like 20,000, I would think that's kind of a where the cap is, right?
No, dude, I was listening to somebody talk about it, and they were saying that there is still a lot of seats open. And
are they resell though?
Yes, there's a lot of resell.
So they're resell. There's reselling.
Yeah.
So people are trying to make money off of this shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of resale seats.
And does that help? I think like that's a valid argument here. Does that shit help?
No,
Culture vulture.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So is it so okay? Like let's think about this, right? Is it really outpricing the fan base here?
No. And in this case, we knew this was gonna happen because this is Cena's last
opportunists out there. Yeah. People are gonna capitalize on the situation.
We knew this was gonna happen.
See, and that's the unfortunate part, right? So I'm not gonna put the whole blame on TKO in this aspect because
in this one we can. There's no way.
And this is not just this event; it happens every event.
Yeah,
scalpers are gonna like take advantage of the fact that people are gonna want to be there. It may already be unaffordable, and they're gonna increase it even more. That's what sucks, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, there's something that sometimes we got to look at it on all sides. I think a lot of people hate to admit that, but at the end of the day, we can't always point the finger at just one person. You would probably give them a bulk of the responsibility because obviously they are the ones that set the pricing initially. But then, what are we doing to like stop these scalpers from, taking advantage of the fan base for that matter? It's unfortunate, I think that's part of the problem too. So otherwise, it's first world problems at the end of the day.
It is first world problems, dude.
We hear bitching about increased ticket prices for wrestling.
but it's a problem that I hate. So it's a problem that I wish I didn't have.
Yeah.
Damn it, I want to go to a WWE event. TKO.
Me too. Shit.
Damn it.
We've been telling you to come.
Man, I can't afford that
Not
shit.
for 50
I make pretty good
shit,
money and I still can't afford it.
Hey, we don't.
It's all that.
Well, we're not trying to go 50 G's. We ain't there yet.
Shoot. Because 50.
But we can do like, like the 100, 200 levels.
Oh, yeah. Nah, for real.
Still got a good we still have a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
We still have a good time. One day. We gotta fly your ass out of here.
I know.
All right. But good shit, guys. Good shit. Definitely miss doing this with you guys. It's been a blast. And I know, Jay, you're not with us today. You're still kind of coping with Julia taking the L.
Hey,
but Oscar won.
Apparently that's not enough for him.
I know how that feel, man.
That's not enough.
It hurts. Hey, Ruka reign is not over. Just know that. The Ruka reign is not over.
Hey, she's on to bigger and better things.
She's
on to bigger and better things. And I guess that's the way of looking at Julia too. She should be on to bigger and better things as it's speculated.
Yeah, for real.
But if Asuka's win doesn't make you feel better, Jay, then we know for a fact that Julia is better than Asuka.
Ooh,
one more time for the people in the back.
That's why
Julia is better than Asuka, and you know that. You don't want to admit that, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Truth hurts. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it.
Hey, speaking of truth hurts, Nikki Bella, you think you could move on to Stephanie Vaquer? You couldn't. You were over there kicking air versus Becky Lynch. How the hell you think you could go to Stephanie Vaquer? Hey, stop. Yay. Truth hurt. You know you can't. You look good at your age, girl. You look good. But you were just kicking air. What do you think you're going to do over there with Stephanie Vaquer, bro? Like, man, whoever wrote this for you, man. I hope John Cena come through, look at you in the back in the backstage and go, Nikki, I would have never thought. and then walk off on you. Like, just walk off. Nikki. Oh, yeah.
You just hate her because she's an Eagles fan.
Hey, even more. I should have never found that out.
Right?
Dude, damn, I love to hate you right now. I love to hate her right now. I love to hate her right now. My Lord.
You love her, but you hate her.
Yeah, for real. You look good. Keep it up.
All right, fellas. Good shit, guys. Good shit.
Bet.
But thank you again. Great episode. It was fun. Jay, we'll get you on the next one. But
yes,
to everyone, thank you again. Please continue to support us, all our social media platforms. You guys are the best, and we out.
We out.